Happy June 12th. Today is June 12th, 2024. We're marking another Democracy Day in the history of our country. 31 years ago, Nigeria had the most fairest and the freest election in our country. We had MK Abiola then, the presumed winner of June 12th. But because of greediness on the part of the military, the freest and the most fairest election in Nigeria from the north to the south was cancelled by the then General Babangida with reasons not genuine enough for annulling of that election. Nigeria went into rampage, and from 1993 June 12th till today, our country has never remained the same again. The man in 1993 of MK Abiola brought hope to Nigerian people. For the very first time, Nigeria from the north and the south was in one accord, wanting to elect a man as the president. They believed so much in him, and everybody was poised to do everything possible to make MK Abiola Nigerian president then in 1993. After the annulment of June 12, 1993, when General Babangida saw that there was no way he could stay more in power, he handed over power to interim Mr. Shoneko then, who General Abacha removed from office within a few weeks, all due to still military greediness that we have in our country living till today. But from 1999, the same military people has been up and down our ballots in all our elections in our country. And today, we are celebrating another day of June 12th of Democracy Day. Because even when many military leaders didn't want to acknowledge the fact that democracy, what gave back to democracy in Nigeria today, is as a result of June 12th. But General Muhammadu Buhari, did the most utmost thing that any leader will do by making June 12th the real Democracy Day. And that is why we have it today. Now, fast forward to where we are today. How democratic have we been under democracy in our nation? I want to sympathize today with all Nigerians with the way things are going on in our country. The poor can no longer breathe in our nation. Sometimes you would think, sometimes ago, the poor can still buy pepper, buy tomato, and buy little fish and cook. But in our nation today, the poor cannot even afford pepper anymore. The poor cannot even afford fish anymore. The poor cannot even afford rice anymore. The food for the poor right now is 101. Many Nigerians can no longer eat 3 square meals in a country that was once flowing with milk and honey. Many Nigerians can no longer go to the market and buy things home to cook for their children. Many Nigerians now are eating 001 or 101. And other Nigerians can no longer eat 111 in a country where they are supposed to be first-class citizens. It is so sad that in a country where you could sleep outside before, a country where you could go to the farm even at midnight, is a country now that farmers can no longer go to their farm in the daytime. And now we begin to see the impact of farmers not being able to go to farm anymore. The insecurity that ravaged the country, the kidnapping that ravaged the country from the south, especially to the northern part of Nigeria, leading to the shortage of food in our nation today. Under democracy, today, people are suffering. People are willing. People can no longer survive. People are dying every day of hunger in a nation that is full of milk and honey. Don't get me wrong. Democracy is still the best form of government anywhere in the world. I know some people have said, oh, let's return back to the military because of this democracy. No. democracy still remains the best form of government in the world. It is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We may have challenges right now. It may look that our democracy is now working, but it is still the best form of governance anywhere in the world. It is a form of government where we are able to speak our mind, where we can form free organization, where we can speak and challenge government, in which is not the case under a military set of rules. So no matter what we're going through today, no matter how muddy our democracy is, it is still the best form of government. We may not get it right today, but someday we are going to get it right. Under democracy, we see that we may not have moved faster the way other parts of the world are moving. It may look as if we're in a standstill. It may look as if we're not moving. But I bet there is no still any form of government than democracy in the world, because it is a form of government that is guaranteed that every 4 years, any government that is not performing, we have the opportunity to change them. Let me remind you that General Babangida was in office for up to more than 10 years before, after much agitation, that he yielded into organizing election. There are other parts of Africa where we have military head of government who have been there for 30 years or even more. So under military rule or any other form of rule that is not democratic, then the people are more in trouble than under a democratic rule. So for the fact that we are a government where we know that in 4 years we can change it, it makes it easy that no matter how we cry through the night, joy comes in the morning, because after 4 years, we have the opportunity to change the government that is not performing. And that is why I'm using this medium to call on Nigerians, especially the youth of this country, the youth of Nigeria, that we have seen the way things have been in our nation. We see the government we have. We see how this government in 1 year has made millions of more Nigerians poor than they met it. In Nigeria of today, over 700 companies have quit and left our country. Over 700 countries have left and shipped their companies to neighboring countries. People are losing jobs by the day. Many people are entering labor market, a market that is not even employing anybody. Nigeria has the highest number of unemployment in Africa, and if not, one of the lowest unemployed nation in the world. But even at that, democracy is still the best form of government, because it gives the people the opportunity to choose, to re-elect, to make mistakes, and to correct. We have been making mistakes, but we are moving closer to correcting it. In 2023, we were almost taking power away from these bourgeoisies. But it's a good attempt. And I will use Democracy Day to call on Nigeria, to call on everybody from the north to the south, from Lagos to Delta, to Port Harcourt, to Calabar, to Kano, to Sokoto, to Maiduguri, to Plateau, to Abuja, that our work has just started. We must do everything possible to begin to put ourselves together, to harmonize, to come together and be getting ready that in no distance time, we're going to unseat every leader, not just the presidency, every governor, every honorable, every House of Assembly that has not been performing in their state, in their respective local government, in their respective constituency, and make a case for a nation that has everything, but we lack everything. We're a nation that has oil, but we are begging for hell. We're a nation that has food, but we are begging for food. We're a nation that has water, but we're begging for water. We're a nation that has good weather, but we're begging for good atmosphere. That's how bad our country has been. That is how bad our nation has been. We're a nation that prays the most, but it looks that God is not answering our prayer. It is not that God is not answering our prayer. It is because we have leaders. We have elected leaders who have chosen a devilish path. We have elected leaders who are greedy, so much greedy that they do not think of another Nigerian. It's over 1 year that we are subsidy remover. It's been over 1 year that life has been miserable for Nigerian workers. Yet, this government has not seen the need to increase the minimum wage. I understand that the minimum wage cannot be 20,000. Let's be realistic. But at a reasonable minimum wage, at least if I 100,000, at worst 80,000, but not 30,000, not 40,000, not 60,000. Nigerians are living in abject poverty. Many people are dropping out of schools. Many kids are dropping out of schools today worse than it is about a year ago. But in all of this, we must celebrate democracy. The people that died for that democracy, the likes of late MK Abiola, Kudrat Abiola, and many other NELECO members, Araba members, people around Nigeria, from the north to the south to the east of our country, that fought for democracy. Even the sitting president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also were part of those that fought for democracy in our nation, and we'll give them kudos where we need to do it. But are they doing the best to make our country better? Are they doing the best to make people feel the impact of democracy? No. The politicians we have today have forgotten that people died, people fought for democracy they enjoy today. And they didn't see the need to make sure that they are not the only one enjoying democracy, but every other person too in our country enjoy democracy. That they are not lavishing money. They are not preaching that Nigerians should be patient while they are wasteful in everything they do. But I know that we are all watching and Nigerians are learning and we are looking, we are seeing that yes, democracy must be something that we must all be involved in. In a nation where we are 200 million, only 29% of the people are involved in election. And that is why we have what we have today. People always say, oh, I'm not interested in politics because the politicians are the same. When you don't vote, this is what happens. You allow people that are not supposed to be in government to be in government. And when they're in government, you suffer it. So instead of us to continue to suffer in our nation, then we must improve the number that participate in politics, in election. Especially the younger generations. People within the age of 18 and 45. People within the age of 18 and 55. All of us must get more involved in the politics of our country. But that is how we can change our nation. A nation, you don't get involved in its election, then you don't have the right to complain about it. When I see people complain about how bad the country is, the first question I ask them, did you vote in the last election? And the answer is, oh, I don't vote. I don't get involved. And I tell them, if you don't get involved, you don't vote in election, and you're now complaining, who were you expecting to vote for leaders that will make your country better? So if you are not voting, you are part of the problem of the country. We are part of the reason why bad leaders are getting into government. We are part of the reason why we are not having the right leaders in government. So we, the people of Nigeria, we, the youth, the younger generation, must from now begin to organize ourselves and not wait till 2027, not wait till 2026. We must begin to organize ourselves now so that we can elect leaders in the future that will make our country better. At the presidency, lawmakers, National Assembly, House of Assembly, in the state, governors, even councillors of our local government. We must elect leaders who we know can make impact, not the ones who are going to give us peanuts just to take our vote, and when they get there, to go and steal, to go and loot. Happy Democracy Day to everyone in Nigeria. I am Faduri Olwada Joseph Eke Fadojo, the former president aspirant under the Labour Party and the leader of Rescue Movement for New Nigeria. I still believe that one day we're going to rescue Nigeria. I still believe that one day there will still be a new Nigeria. Not an old Nigeria, or not returning back to hold a national flag or national anthem. But in Nigeria, that will be new. And even its national anthem will be new. I still believe in that country that is going to come one day. So, happy Democracy Day to all Nigerians, wherever you are around the world. It may be tough now. Things may seem not working. The country may be hard. But if all of us can come together, hope can still rise again. We can see all together rescue our nation. May God bless Nigeria. May God bless you. And may God bless me. Happy June 12th.